Good morning, guys, and happy Friday. It has been a whole week since one, my grocery shop, and two, my dental surgery. So I sound like I've got marshmallows stuffed into my cheeks, and to be honest, it feels like I have marshmallows stuffed into my cheeks. I'm going to talk more about my dental surgery later. I'm going to get into the grocery haul today. I actually have purchased a bit more strategic. Sorry, guys, I keep swallowing. This week, knowing that I'm still recovering and I still can't open my jaw properly to eat proper food. So my shop's been a little bit more different this week. One, so I can try and eat, and two, to make it a bit more convenient for my husband. Because I'm not going to lie, we ate out. Well, not we. I literally had soup or milkshakes for dinner. But last week, I think we just got takeaway about 4 nights. It was a very unexpected week last week with this surgery, and my recovery process was nowhere near what I thought it was going to be. Anyway, let's move on. This week's groceries, I am under budget, $139.29. Love it, to show the YouTube family as well. There was not that many savings this week, and I think it just came down to I was very strategic in how I purchased some things. I watched a lot of cooking YouTube videos last week, and I've made some purchases that I can't remember exactly why I purchased it, but anyway, we'll work through it. These were on sale and a super quick dinner for the family. So these are the Latina ricotta and spinach. My kids do like them, and I got the pasta sauce as well. To bulk it up, what I like to do, I added some extra zucchini, grate up some carrot, I chop up another onion finally. If I had squash, I'd put like squash in, just to beef it up a little bit more. So when you add the sauce in with the pasta, a little bit of water to get the residual pasta sauce out and all the extra veg, it actually comes a really good handy lunch or dinner meal. So we've got those. I got these chips here. These, I'm pretty sure, I'll have to have a quick look down my grocery list. They're the Coles straight cut chips. I don't think they're going to come up quick enough for me, guys, to find the straight cut chips. So these were $1.90. I think it's 2 kilos. Let me try and find a kilo. These are actually cheaper to purchase than it was buying my normal brown potatoes. And the time it takes to cut and prep all of these, this actually worked out super cost effective. So this, served with chicken nuggets and some steamed veg on the side, is a perfect, easy dinner for the family. So if you are restricted on time, I think this is a really, really good option. In saying that, these potatoes this week were $1.50 a kilo. So I grabbed 4 kilos of them. The brown ones I usually purchase were $2.50 a kilo. You need to constantly be checking. Sweet potato this week was really cheap. Excuse me. Where I am, I think it's been sitting around like the $3 a kilo. These were $1.50. So I grabbed 4. They'll last really long. They're on the bottom of my pantry in a cool space. They can last for weeks. Pumpkin, I thought I'd never eat or want to see another piece of pumpkin again in my life. But I do have plans to do something that's not pumpkin soup. What I plan to do this week is actually slice this up into nice sort of like wedges. I'm actually going to bake that in the oven with some honey or golden syrup and just make it nice and like soft, and probably cook up a chicken with it. These chickens here are a really good price. To be honest, it's probably more easier to buy the Coles pre-cooked chickens, but doing a roast chicken from home, these are a really good price to have. These were half price, so I grabbed them. Just handy to have. My husband can cook 2 up, make a wrap. I've still got heaps of wraps in the fridge and freezer from last week. We're going to make scones this weekend. I bought a bunch of feta. I'm questioning it. I remember there's some reason I bought it. Only 3 lots of 3 milk because we've still got heaps. Dog food and treats were on sale this week, so grabbed those. Again, husband can have some tuna on his wraps this week. I have gotten some butter to do. I've got a massive baking. I am craving to do a massive baking with you guys on my YouTube video. So I've got butter there and kofar. Now, if you can't remember what kofar is, this is the stuff you used to make way back in the day when people weren't concerned about the type of oils and that you were using to cook. It's a lard, or a vegetable shortening, as it says right there. You used to make like chocolate crackles with this, or white Christmas. I'm going to make, because my son is obsessed with the Nutri-Grain, which was not on sale. I can usually get that half price, and it was not on sale, so I paid full price $8.50. Still under budget though, so I'm very happy. I'm going to make some of those. You know how you can get those LCM bars and Nutri-Grain bars? I think I have come up with, me writing down and doing research while I've been able to talk, on some really great muesli bar snack options for lunch boxes. So I will be doing videos on like muesli bar lunchbox options to my YouTube video, so do stay tuned for that. I've just realized my camera is getting low, so let's pick up the my battery's getting low. Let's pick up the speed. Oil as usual, loads of fruit and veg. I grabbed a few extra little random sort of things here. We're moving into mandarin season. My kids did love them, so I've grabbed a couple more to make sure they still do. These have not been high priced forever, but they were on sale, so I grabbed those. And I'm actually trying to move away from all packaged food. I can't get these in a big bulk box, but I've grabbed these were half price and these were half price. So when we go out, I either put it into a little Ziploc bag that we use just for chips, or I put it into their lunch boxes. They can eat it from there. Trying really hard to reduce our plastic waste. And cornflakes. So those that would have seen my husband's surgery, he had 5-6 weeks ago, and he was having wheat bix and oats for breakfast every morning. And actually the doctor, 2 specialists have said stop having so much oats and grains. So he's gone to cornflakes. The biggest difference is made for him. It has made a huge difference to him. So cornflakes will probably be a regular from now on. And then the tiny teddies over here for the kids. I wish I could just grab a massive box with them in it, but this actually works out a lot cheaper. These options here work out so much cheaper than buying those big boxes of the multi-flavored things. So this is groceries for the week. Still don't know what the Fed is for. I'm going to have to try and look at some notes. I did write stuff down when I was, I think, high on some medication. But that is it, guys. Under $140, including meats this week. So ham and chicken. Stay tuned, because I'll try and do some cooking this week to show you what we come up with. At least just take photos if my husband cooks something up. But under $140, under budget. I'm really happy with groceries this week. Okay, over to my YouTube family. Don't mind me talking. I just can't open my mouth up too wide. It literally just won't open due to swelling. So this is just my voice for now. You can still understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to go through what we're actually cooking for the week, because I'm going to keep it really open again. We didn't eat the pizzas. We didn't eat tacos. We didn't eat, let me bring you over. We didn't eat the homemade pies. We had the spag bowl, the leftovers, and the crumbed chicken. Didn't have the enchiladas. So I've still got heaps of stuff up there that we just didn't eat. But this week, I thought I'd run through just some tips on when people are really struggling to bring down the cost of the groceries. Some of the things I do, and like I was saying before, when it comes to things that are cheaper and that store really well, bulk up. So I don't have any plans to use the sweet potato this week. And if I'm correct, let me just bring you over to the pantry. And let's just see what my pantry's got. I actually don't know. I have to turn my light on. And down here is where I keep all my onions and sweet potatoes. I've got 3 sweet potatoes, 1 white one, I call it purple, and 2 orange ones. So plus those 4 over there, I have 7 sweet potatoes. I'm not going to use them for a while. I have them stored correctly. Store your produce correctly and it will actually last a lot longer than you think. Same goes for fresh produce. If you cut your carrots, store them in water. I do have a video on that as well. Store your fruit in a dry place. Keep your avocados away from... Sorry, you went flat on me. So you need to understand how to store things when it comes to these packets of chips. So this whole packet of chips, I think, was $2 this week or $2.50 this week. So much cheaper than buying that box I bought the other week with all the different flavors in it. But it's not cheaper if I don't store it properly once I open it. So a good sealed container, Ziploc bag, keep the air out of it. And the other thing I like to do too, going back to our fruit and veg, is keep an eye on what you normally buy and challenge the norm. So I normally buy the brown brush potatoes because they're cheaper. They're meant to be cheaper because you're not paying for someone to clean the dirt off of them. But this week, these ones here were $1.50, which is extremely cheap. So maybe they had extra supply come in, people weren't purchasing them, so they got a really good per kilo on those ones there. So I can still cook them up the same, still boil and mash fine, but don't just stick to your usual things. Challenge it. Try the home brand stuff. Try a different brand of something. Try, instead of giving my daughter oranges, these were $6.90 a kilo. Mandarins are coming into season, so I grabbed a couple of those. My son loves strawberries, but they're so expensive. I think I could usually get them for like $3 for a punnet, $6.90 for the punnet I was looking at. I'm like, I'm just not paying that. He would eat the whole punnet in a 2-minute sitting. Yes, he does love them, and they'll become a treat now as we go into winter, but there's other things. So raspberries are still really cheap. So I mix the raspberries up with frozen blueberries, which he loves, and I got a couple of plums. Now, I don't just give him a plum and say eat it unless he asks for it. I will actually cut it in half, wrap the other half in beeswax wrap, and then slice this up to be like an orange, and he can eat it from there. So instead of eating that in one sitting, he can have that for morning tea for 2 days. I also look at things, so in next week's grocery shop, which I've already sort of jotted down, you know how you can buy like pre-made bag. So you can buy a lemon for $1, or you can buy a bag for like $4.50, and there's 6 lemons in it. And it's cheaper to do that, but you have to process how you're going to do it. So for lemons, I could juice the lemon and freeze it. I could use the rind of the lemon to make my cleaning products, which I am going to share with you guys. Or I could find recipes where I am going to use the lemon in that cooking. So yes, that is cheaper for me to do. If it's not, you just need to buy that 1 lemon. The other thing I do, these apples my husband loves. He prefers the green ones, happy to buy them, good Granny Smith apples, but these are getting really expensive, which is strange because you're going into winter and apple is a winter fruit. So instead of buying like the 6 or 7 to have 1 every day to get through, I'll actually reduce these down and he'll get 1 every 2nd day. This is if like you're on a real budget and you're just trying to find those few extra $8 or $10 to go, yes, I'm hitting my budget now. Don't buy the 7 of these, buy the 4. Have 1 every other day, and then buy a cheaper product that's in season to mix between them. Bananas weren't too bad. They were $3. I know in summer they're like down to like $1.50, but I did grab the bananas because the kids really do like them and it does fill them up. So that's kind of how I look at getting things reduced down. Pumpkin was super cheap this week. I never thought I'd eat pumpkin again in my life after the week of pumpkin for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But it was really cheap, and I might like to get the chicken, make a roast chicken with like some veggies and do like a nice pumpkin as a feature. Not like just roast pumpkin, make it as like a glazed pumpkin. So sometimes it's thinking outside the box on how you will be using your food to reduce the price of it. If I had bought more apples, more oranges, I had bought the strawberries this week. What else could I be looking at? Let's just go with that. So say I bought the strawberries, more apples and oranges. Say I take out some of the bananas, I would have spent easily an extra $10 because the strawberries were $6.90 and the oranges were $6.90 a kilo. So let me just find out how much I paid for 1 orange. Bear with me while I look up on my receipt. Usually it goes in alphabetical order, but obviously that's a brand of orange. So apples were $5.90 a kilo. So for 4 apples, I paid $1.10 per apple, which is pretty up there, to be honest. Okay, the oranges, they were $5.90 a kilo. So I paid $1.10 just for this. It's not even big. It's like, she's pretty small orange. But when I look at the mandarins, let's look at our mandarins. Obviously the mandarins, Imperial mandarins, they were $3.20 a kilo. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 of these for $1.30. So although this is smaller, it's still a piece of fruit and a snack. Just trying to get you to see that there's different ways to shop. We're still getting plenty of fruit and veg. No one's been deprived of anything. I'm just shopping differently. My daughter still loves oranges and she's still going to have an orange, but she might get like a wedge and then I'll give her the other fruit. Whereas when these are really cheap, I'm like, yeah, have like 4 or 5 wedges for morning tea sort of thing. So I just bounce off the pricings and I can usually save the most when things are on sale, and like the dairy, the frozen and the pantry stuff. But if you're shopping and they're not, and you're still trying to find money to save, I'd be hitting up your produce, your fresh produce. Understand in your area, because every area is so different and every shop is so different, what the fluctuations are. And it takes a few weeks to sort of see the cycles going around of things. And when something's cheaper, like I'm not going to go through all these potatoes in the next 1 or 2 weeks, something like 3 or 4 weeks. I have stored them correctly and they're going to last me. And to be honest, I think I saved $2 or $3 purchasing those potatoes, which are still potatoes. Sorry guys, they're still potatoes. I'm just going to cook them exactly the same. I've just saved money doing it. This sweet potato, these are not going to get eaten this week. I've still got 3 sitting in the pantry, but these were so cheap, it made sense to get them. So when these bounce up next week because there's been a flood or the crops aren't ready to pick, because that's what happens, I've got sweet potato for probably 3 or 4 weeks sitting here that I just will slowly eat away at. And $3.50 a kilo compared to $1.50 this week, I saved a bunch of money there. So I'm very mindful about grabbing things that are a better price point per kilo. And that from last week's video, when I talk about shop first and then meal plan, that is why. Because if I decided to make a pumpkin soup this week and pumpkins are like $5 a kilo, there's no way in hell I'd be buying a pumpkin to make pumpkin soup for $5 a kilo. So I purchased my produce first, and then I go through, as you saw last week, look at the pantry, look at my fridge, my freezer, what I've purchased, and I make meals up from there. That's the best way I could explain it. If it helps, I do have my free budget planner. Pop over to herordinarymum.com. Sorry guys. It is a free budget planner. I budget $150 a week for groceries, $140 for this stuff, and I allow $10 a week for red meat that I get from my farm. But there is a section on my budget planner because everybody wants to pop out and grab. I got these last week with the kids. Some biscuits. I don't think they're any good anymore now. Or you've got friends coming over and you think, oh, I need to grab some crackers or some cheese, or we're out of milk, or something comes up. My budget planner allows you to factor that in. I'm still very strict with going, no, my grocery bill is $150. If I go outside of that, which we do allow for, but I don't have it as a, oh, we allow for that, it's fine. You know, that's okay. I try really hard to keep in to our budget. So that's this week's tips after the grocery haul on how to just bring your bill down a little bit by little bit, just by taking some things out, tweaking things around. Things aren't always going to be on sale. This annoyed me this week because I know this goes half price. But my son loves it. He loves it for breakfast. He would have like 4 or 5 bowls if I let him. So I'd rather get something that he does definitely want to eat for breakfast. But when it comes to fruit and veg, if you're finding you're really struggling to get it down, it's picking and choosing when things are on sale, maximizing when they are at a cheaper price point. I hope this video helps. Make sure you watch my one from last week too with how I food plan to help explain some of this stuff here. If you've got any suggestions on what you'd like to see for me talking about in more detail next week, please let me know. By next week I will be talking a lot more better. I'm going to get my groceries put away and sit down. My house is a bomb site. My husband has done such a good job with my kids. I'm itching to clean this house and I just can't at the moment. So stay tuned. I'm going to have so many cleaning videos coming up on getting this house back in order, decluttering, getting rid of some bits and pieces. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll talk soon. Bye.